Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Republic Over Democracy podcast. I am your host, Virgil Edwards. Today is May 7th of 2019, and today's episode may be a little bit off topic, but not really. Yes, you're reading the headline right. Kentucky teachers broke the law. Now, everybody wants to think about teachers being very noble, very selfless, very caring, kind, compassionate, giving. And for a lot of them, that description fits. However, it's not always the case, unfortunately. What law could they have broke? I mean, surely they would just be flat out arrested if they were caught breaking the law, wouldn't they? I want to read to you something. This comes straight out of the KRS, the Kentucky Revised Statutes, which is the law of the land in the state of Kentucky. KRS 336.130, particularly Section 1. It is a long paragraph, but I want to read just a part of it because it's the most important part that pertains to this entire podcast today. And that reads, except that no public employee, collectively or individually, may engage in a strike or work stoppage. Let me read that again. Except that no public employee, collectively or individually, may engage in a strike or work stoppage. Public education instructors, teachers, are indeed public employees. Numerous instances over the last year have seen our Kentucky educators call in quote-unquote sick on specific days so that these teachers can go to Frankfort and protest. Days in which they were supposed to be at their school of employment, in their classroom, providing an education to our youth, they called in sick. And so many did so that the school districts were forced to close. Of course, they were forced to close because they no longer had adequate number of staff to safely supervise the students. Now, one can sit here and debate all day, night, into next week whether these teachers had a reason to strike, had a reason to protest. But what is not debatable here is that according to that KRS, Section 1, that I read, they broke the law. So, why haven't any of them been arrested? When these teachers were in Frankfort that day, Frankfort, our state capital, why wasn't any of them arrested? Why wasn't any of them fired on the spot? I'll tell you why. Cowardice. Our elected officials wouldn't have none of it. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. They're cowards. Oh, they're teachers. How could we do something like that to our teachers? They're no better than anybody else, okay? Just because they chose the profession of being an educator doesn't mean that they're higher and mightier than anybody else. They are just as subject to the law as you and I. You know, I get on this Kentucky off-topic page through Discus, and I posted the topic. You know, public education, is it vital or no? And here's the reason why I posted that. You know, our government wants to think that every program that they offer is absolutely vital to the growth, safety, security, and enhancement of our society. Whether we're talking about the fire department, the police department, EMS, social services, and schools. They say, oh, we must continue to force you to pay us a portion of your earned wealth out of your paychecks, and why we must charge you property taxes on your home so that you never truly own your home. Even after you pay off the bank, it's yours, right? No, it's not yours. Because the government will always want their portion. Because they believe it's their portion. And your vehicle, it'll never be truly your vehicle. Because they believe they've got to charge you every year for you possessing that vehicle. And they say all these taxes, they're going to providing all these services that supposedly make us civil, make us safe, make us better than anybody in the world. So, you know, one would want us to believe that all these services are vital, so we've got to keep them running as long as possible. So why on earth would we want to allow teachers to just cancel school and go protest when they're not happy with something? Mind you, that none of these teachers, not a single one, made any sort of news before Governor Bevin was elected because of these pension issues. The average Kentuckian didn't even know that the public pension program was in dire straits before Governor Bevin took office. The KEA didn't care. You know what Governor Bevin's biggest crime since he got elected was? Telling people they had a problem. Telling people, the teachers and the public, that there's a problem with the pensions. And it doesn't matter that Governor Bevin has spiked up the funding of the pension program more so than the governors of the last 25 years. No, because Governor Bevin had some choice words for those who had already slung mud at him. No, it doesn't matter that more than 40% of the state's budget already goes to education in this state. It's not enough, according to them. And we got all these local governments that are millions in debt and liabilities that they can't afford. And Governor Bevin's trying to get plans to rectify this. And you got hooligans like Jeff Hoover up in Frankfurt, who, why the hell he's still in the legislature up there after having admitted to cheating on his wife is beyond me. But Jeff Hoover's trying to make damn sure that the Kentucky legislature in Frankfurt kicks the can down the road one more time. You know, this whole, and this is something I've railed about, you know, the big takeover of Frankfurt. Oh, Republican governor, Republican state senate, Republican state house. First time in 95 years. And what's really been done? Next to nothing good. Pension's still a problem. You know, they sat there and tried to pass this bill, pension reform, in with some sewer bill. I believe it was State Bill 151 that they passed and the governor signed, but then the Kentucky State Supreme Court slapped them down because they didn't follow their own parliamentary procedure. It wasn't that there was a legal problem with the plan itself, but because they didn't read the bill, have 3 readings of the bill before a final vote. It got slapped down, and now these people are not trying to do anything good. They're just trying to save their ass. Because it's an election cycle. You know, and here's my opinion of all this. If schools are so absolutely vital that they shouldn't be closed unless absolutely necessary, then why aren't these teachers being held accountable and held responsible for breaking the law? They lied. They not only lied about calling in sick, but they broke the law in participating in a strike that created a work stoppage. These are black and white facts. It's not gray area. It's not a question of, oh, well, you know, according to this. No. It's written in plain English. They are public employees. They participated in a strike and a work stoppage. That means they broke the law. And the law must be upheld. Otherwise, you know, who else gets to break the law? And under what protected reason? I mean, I'm a big a fan as teachers as anybody, you know, but unfortunately, there's a lot of bad eggs out there that are in it for reasons other than because they had a calling. Because they truly want to make a difference in the world, one young mind at a time. And it's showing. All I could say is the law better be upheld. And there better be consequences. Otherwise, who knows, Kentucky? America, stay free, my friends.